Few names are more synonymous with Marquette basketball than Glenn "Doc" Rivers. The NBA champion and Clippers head coach sat down with Dennis Krause.
Doc, when you come back on campus, do the memories flood back?
Well, my age floods back first, because I look around and I'm like, this is not the same campus that I was at. It's amazing, the difference and all the things. But yeah, a lot of memories come back of just my time here, the classes, the professors, my teammates, and really Hank Ramons and Rick Majerus. So I think about all that.
Marquette is coming up on 100 years of basketball. What does Marquette basketball mean to you?
Just a great tradition, toughness. You know, I've always thought Marquette was one of those schools. When you look at the players, especially the players that made it to the NBA, they all kind of same kind of guy. You know, Dwayne, tough. You know, Crowder, just the guys playing now. Jimmy Butler. When you just go back, that's what it means to me. It's this great basketball tradition that just keeps going, and it stands for some kind of like blue-collar, tough type of team or athlete.
You were on the Marquette University Board of Trustees. You were involved with the hiring of Steve Wojciechowski. Why do you choose to still be involved?
Well, it's my duty. I believe that. I believe I was served when I was here. I was made when I was here, and I tell that all the time. I came here as a young kid from Chicago that just wanted to play basketball. I left here as a kid that had an education, a kid that valued education, that valued work and giving back. And that was all changed when I was here. So my duty is to serve this school, and I really believe that.
I can't help but think that some of the lessons you learned on and off the court here about leadership came into play when the whole Donald Sterling thing blew up with the Clippers.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. You know, dealing with racism and dealing with all kinds of things with leadership, you learn. You know, Rick and Hank were great. They really were. They were great coaches, and I think we already know that. But they talked to me so much about being a better person, valuing your teammates. You know, being a leader means not being popular at times. You know, taking a stance. Rick was really big into that. You know, and I thought that gave me a foundation to lean on when we were going through the whole Sterling fiasco.
Mm-hmm. When I think of your playing career at Marquette, I think of the half-court shot against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Is that the first thing you think of?
Yeah, it is. It is. I remember the weather that day. It was really cold. I think 30 below zero. But I do remember that day. I remember that game quite a bit. That's the one I think about the most.
How often do you think of it?
A lot. You know, almost every time I see Notre Dame. It really, it's funny. If Notre Dame football is on, I at some point go back to that shot, and I love it.
When you talk about how college basketball has changed, the surroundings, the locker room, from the old gym to the Al McGuire Center, it must make you marvel at what college basketball has become.
Yeah, just the money that's involved now to run college basketball and to keep up with the Joneses. You know, if you don't do it, the other facility will do it and you'll lose recruits. I think the biggest change is the conferences. You know, the conferences are so much more powerful and bigger. When we were playing, we were an independent. We can go and play anybody, and it really didn't matter come tournament time if you were in a conference or not. Now it does. It matters. Your strength of schedule matters. There's so many other things, and just overall play. You know, I think there's more pressure in kids now than there was when I grew up and played basketball or sports in general. I think there's so much pressure on the kids, just not only just as athletes and not only just academics, but the whole social media. They have to. It's just more pressure on them.
What's harder, being a player or coach, or being a dad, watching a game?
Oh, I think being a dad is harder. You know, now I got to dual where I'm a dad and a coach at the same time. But being a dad in the stands is harder than being a dad as a coach. Because being a dad as a coach, you can actually do something about it. You know, being a dad in the stands, you're just sitting there and you have no control over anything. So I have found it, and I never wanted to do this. I would say that. That was never a dream like me, Coach Austin. Never thought of it. Never thought I would. But now that I'm doing, I think it's easier than just sitting watching a game.
When you first met Steve Wojciechowski at Duke, what were your impressions?
His intensity. I loved it. Just watching him run the practices. One of the things Coach K does, I do as well, is Coach K was a big believer in letting his assistants use their voice, and he sits back and coaches the team exactly the way I coach. And so when I would go to the Duke practices, it was Wojo and Collins coaching. Coach K taking notes, watching, talking to me. And so you could see what Wojo was about. I had an inside information because I got to watch him recruit, I got to watch him coach, and I knew that he'd be a good one.
Final question, how's he doing?
He's doing great. I mean, he's already changing the culture. He's already bringing in guys, the top 10 recruits, and he's going to keep doing it. Marquette's in great hands.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.